Tonight, the curbside cart era begins.
So they're making sure they're doing it well, doing it right today. It will pick up.
The heads up and the hesitations.
I think it's a bad move because a lot of people are going to start throwing away their recycles in regular garbage.
On day one of the region's new waste collection system. After the fire.
Right now especially, we're really feeling it, and we're super grateful for everyone that's shown up.
A community trying to move forward amid the devastating damage in air. Plus, moving on from one list.
Good riddance, because my experience with one list was that they weren't providing any kind of the services that they had, agreed to doing.
Both of the region's school boards ditch a problem-plagued childcare registration system, but
who's not to say that it's just going to be another big blow-up?
Will it restore confidence with parents?
Good evening. It's been happening in one way or another for about a century now. But today, curbside waste collection in Waterloo Region entered a whole new chapter. A system involving carts and mechanical arms, which is already in place in some other communities, is now rolling here, with the first pickups today in parts of Cambridge and some of the townships. CTV's Krista Simpson is here with more on the rollout tonight. Krista.
Well, Tony, it is certainly a change that will take time to get used to for both those putting out the carts and those picking them up and emptying them. The region reminding everyone this is just day one. Garbage and organic waste are now being collected by trucks with mechanical arms. Ayr, one of the first communities in Waterloo Region to get pickup with the new system. The rollout expected to be a little slow.
The operators who are driving the trucks, they were just recently doing a very different type of service, and they just got trained up on the new program with the automated arm. So they're making sure they're doing it well, doing it right today. It will pick up.
This week, everyone gets both garbage and organic waste picked up, which also makes the first week a heavier lift. After that, organics will be picked up once a week and garbage every other. Recycling in blue boxes is now managed by Circular Materials, and pickup will now happen every other week opposite to garbage, something some hope won't lead to recyclables ending up in the trash.
I think it's a bad move because a lot of people are going to start throwing away their recycles in regular garbage. There's a lot of recycle that needs to go out.
To help with the less frequent pickup, residents have been given 2 extra blue boxes, and there's no limit on how many containers of recycling you can put out. Residents are being reminded to check their collection day, as it may have changed as the region moves to a 4-day pickup schedule instead of 5.
Normally they would come in the morning on Monday. Now it's Tuesday.
The black and green carts must be placed 2 feet apart, lids closed, with the arrows facing the street and handles facing the home. As the program is rolled out, there will be crews going ahead of some trucks, making sure carts are placed properly.
So they are helping folks if, let's say, they need a little bit more space or they need to point the cart the right way. We'll do that, and then we'll also leave a little sticker behind just so that you can have a successful collection next time.
And carts placed correctly will be marked with a gold star sticker. As for old garbage containers and green bins, they can be reused for yard waste or storage or put out during bulky item collection, which now happens once a month. Old green bins can also be dropped off at the region's waste management sites in Waterloo or Cambridge. We did ask the region this afternoon for an update on the first day and whether all areas scheduled to be serviced today did end up having their waste collected, but we have not yet received a reply. Tony.
Okay, Krista Simpson with that big change to a long-standing task. Krista, thank you for that. Time now for a first check on the weather. Let's head over to Ashley Bacon here in studio with all the latest. Just keeps getting better and better as the week goes on, temperature-wise. Really nice to not have to cover the ears up today.
You got it, Tony. I went out for my lunch break, and I said when I got back, it was warm enough to not need gloves, but almost needing them by the time you got back from your walk. So it was a little bit chillier out there if you were out there for a long period, but as Tony mentioned, temperatures definitely improving over the last couple of days and are going to be improving over the next few days. Looking at our satellite, you can see not a lot going on, a little spotty precipitation precipitation here and there. We're not expecting to see any here in Waterloo Region for the next 24 hours, but by Thursday we might see some rainfall come through. But right now we're sitting at 1 degree for Waterloo Region, a very calm easterly wind at 9 kilometers an hour. It is feeling a little cooler with the wind chill around -2. Now those temperatures again are expected to continue to rise over the next few days, Tony. What we're going to see is a bit of sunshine tomorrow before the rain comes into play for the end of the week and into the weekend. So we're not quite out of the woods yet for winter-like weather, but we are certainly feeling more and more like spring every day.
Loving it. Okay, Ash, thank you. We'll see you later for the rest of the story. A day after a massive fire rocked downtown Ayr, the building that went up in flames has been torn down. The fire damage was deemed too severe to save it. It's a loss of one of the oldest buildings in the community and also of 2 beloved businesses and several homes. Let's go now to CTV's Jeff Pickle live in Ayr with new reporting on this story for us tonight. And Jeff, you were actually right in front of where that building once stood.
Yeah, Tony, what was once a beautiful old heritage building has been reduced to just a pile of debris, some twisted and charred cement and steel just behind me. Everyone who we spoke with, very thankful that the injuries were limited to just the one individual, but those apartments on the top floors and the businesses on the bottom floor, the loss of those hitting the community hard. Yesterday morning, fire ripping through a downtown Ayr building. After a long, drawn-out firefight, the building was brought down late last night.
Once the floors on the second story had collapsed into the first story, we knew at that point that the structural stability of the building was very much in question.
The township's chief building inspector says the damage was too much and the risk too great.
When a building is on fire like that and you can't get inside of it to do an investigation and the structural integrity of the building is completely gone, it is very risky to have the building continue to stand. Yeah.
What was 3 apartments on the top floor and 2 businesses below, now a pile of debris. For the last 17 years, the Vidakovic family have ran Ayr Village Pizza.
We specialize, I think, in that family community feel of a pizza place. We make our dough in-house every day, and we're always waiting to serve the community the best we can.
They say food and community are their passion.
The community in Ayr is incredible. Coming from a small family, we've gained a ginormous family here in Ayr, and we couldn't ask for better people around us.
Today, forced to face the reality that their beloved shop is gone.
It's heartbreaking. It's devastating. 17 years of family hard work gone in about 12 hours. Like it hurts.
One of the oldest buildings in the community, the mayor says the loss will leave a mark.
When you hurt one, all of us hurt. And in doing that, we feel an emptiness in us that we want to fill with help. And that's what we do. We reach out.
Well, it's too early to say what's next for Village Pizza and Hitch Coffee next door. The Vidakovic family thankful for the community's support.
We're just asking for support, and we're trying to give support where we can as well, especially to the people that were upstairs and that lost everything. That's our main focus right now. But the community in Ayr is incredible.
And again, only that one person injured, someone who was on the second story who had to jump to escape the fire, was injured. There are a number of online fundraising campaigns for everyone who's been displaced from this fire. Just another touching sign of the community coming together here in Ayr. Tony?
Okay, Jeff Pickle on what the township's described as a devastating fire in Ayr. Jeff, thank you for that. Provincial police are cracking down on drivers passing stopped school buses. This is part of an 11-day blitz across southwestern Ontario, dispatching officers to areas where complaints are frequent. CTV's Sean Irvin reports.
Be it winter, spring, or fall, it is a call officers are dispatched or a witness to far too often. Drivers passing a school bus with its lights flashing.
Almost seems like a daily occurrence where we get complaints from bus drivers or other motorists on the road.
And officers have had enough of it. So through the middle of the month, OPP from across southwestern Ontario will be stationing themselves in locations known for infractions.
This comes about as a result of many near misses throughout the region.
OPP want to avoid any injuries to children, especially in the wake of the late 2024 death of Dante Caranci. He died exiting a school bus on Longwoods Road just outside OPP jurisdiction. 2 people face charges related to the 7-year-old's death. Both of those cases remain before the courts. Hare concurred that the tragedy resonates with his fellow officers who are doing everything they can to protect children.
We're just trying to minimize the risk that our youth are seeing when they're riding the bus. It shouldn't be a thing, but unfortunately, it still seems to be.
Late last year, the Community Bus Safety Committee at Dante's School in Delaware debuted the No Excuses campaign. It warns drivers to take notice of school buses. Road signs will appear in the coming weeks. Committee member Allora Preston told CTV News she welcomes the extra effort by the OPP. But Preston is calling for stronger year-round enforcement and for stop-arm video cameras to be installed on all school buses. Still, he reminds parents and children that they have a role to play in school bus safety. But ultimately, Hare wants drivers to be more responsible and reminds them that yellow lights on buses just prior to the red are not an indication to speed by.
We all have a role to play in this to be a lot better.
In London, Sean Irvin, CTV News.
Hamilton police have made an arrest in connection with a stabbing at a motel in the East End earlier this year. 34-year-old Joel Benjamin is charged with attempted murder and possession for the purpose of trafficking. He was arrested yesterday, wanted on a Canada-wide warrant. Police also seized a significant amount of suspected fentanyl along with $30,000 in gold bars. A 36-year-old man was also taken into custody and charged with possession for the purpose of trafficking. Well, now to the situation in the Middle East. The U.S. and Israel launching a fresh wave of attacks on Iran. Israel hitting a Tehran compound where a group was meeting to pick a new supreme leader. Iran countered with a barrage of retaliatory attacks on U.S. allies in the Gulf. CTV's Adrian Gobriel is in Istanbul once again tonight with the latest.
As the sun sets on day 4 of this war, the scale and scope is painfully coming into focus. South of Tehran, Israel struck this compound today belonging to the group responsible for electing Iran's next supreme leader. Throughout the night and into the day, Israeli forces have also been targeting Iranian-backed Hezbollah positions across Lebanon. The Red Crescent says that more than 780 have died in Iran since the fighting began on Saturday, with the single biggest loss of life taking place here at this girls' school. Neither Israel nor the U.S. have claimed responsibility, though nearby fresh grave sites have been dug to bury dozens of children. The president of the Red Crescent in Iran saying that more than 168 children, aged 7, 8, and 9, were martyred.
The fear, the panic, the anxiety experienced by millions of people in the Middle East and beyond is palpable and was entirely avoidable.
11 countries across the region have been on the receiving end of airstrikes fired by Iran since the fighting began. Following an Iranian attack in Saudi Arabia, the U.S. have shuttered embassies in Riyadh, Kuwait, and Beirut. With Tehran under a daily, deadly bombardment, thousands of Iranians are trying to flee to neighboring countries. Turkey is home to more than 120,000 Iranians, with many residing right here in Istanbul's historic quarter. Foreign nationals we spoke with at cafes in this neighborhood declined to speak on camera, still fearful of the reach of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard and anti-Iranian sentiment here in this country. So celebrations in your house last night. Halit Yenejeh's wife is Iranian. The couple have been waiting for the decimation of the Islamic regime.
Islamic regime for Persian people, we are happy, really happy. Devil's times finish.
Halit, what is your hope for the future?
We want good election, good rules election, and secular system for Iran.
As the flames of war fan out of control, any semblance of peace in the Middle East at this hour remains a distant hope. Tonight, U.S. Central Command say they've hit 1,700 targets since their joint operation with Israel began. With Iran hitting back, this entire region has been thrown into a state of chaos. Adrian Gobriel, CTV News, Istanbul.
Meanwhile, U.S. President Donald Trump claims that U.S. President Donald Trump claims that Iran's air defenses, the Air Force, the Navy, and leadership are gone. On a day when he briefed Germany's chancellor, U.S. lawmakers, and the media, the president gave his reasoning for waging war. CTV's Joy Malbin has that story.
But Ukraine has
in the Oval Office, the U.S. president says he just had a feeling that Iran was going to strike, but denies he was pulled into this war by Israel.
I might have forced their hand. You see, we were having negotiations with these lunatics, and it was my opinion that they were going to attack first.
Contradicting his own Secretary of State, Marco Rubio.
We knew that there was going to be an Israeli action. We knew that that would precipitate an attack against American forces.
The president who promised no more wars portrays this one as necessary to eliminate Iran's nuclear threat once and for all, destroying their naval and missile capabilities. And Trump says they knocked out Iran's radar defenses, hitting 1,700 targets so far.
We're hitting them very hard, and the big scale hitting goes now. They no longer have air protection. They no longer have any detection facilities at all left, and so they're gonna be in for a lot of hurt.
After wiping out Iran's top leadership, Trump has called for Iranians to rise up and take over their own country. And yes, Trump has thoughts about who he'd like to take over. The late Iran Shah's son, not his first choice.
I guess the worst case would be we do this and then somebody takes over who's as bad as the previous person, right? That could happen. I would like to see somebody in there that's going to bring it back for the people.
The president lashed out at Spain and the UK for their initial response to his war.
But this is not the age of Churchill. I will say the UK has been very, very uncooperative.
And as America's war widens, already claiming U.S. soldiers' lives, lawmakers question the legal basis for Trump's war and will try to force a vote to limit the president's war powers. Joy Malbin, CTV News, Washington.
And we'd like to remind you to sign up for the CTV Kitchener newsletter. A look at the day's top stories, the latest forecast, and some must-see videos. You can sign up at ctvnewskitchener.ca. On the same day that Waterloo Region enters a new waste collection era, Wellington County is taking a step forward with a place where people dispose of waste. Coming up, CTV's Karis Map tells us how a multi-million-dollar upgrade to a waste facility is expected to change an important municipal service.
And saying goodbye to one system with many problems, why the region's public and Catholic school boards are finding a new way to register families for extended care programs. That story is just ahead.
Well, we're expecting cloudy conditions overnight, but tomorrow is shaping up to be the day of the week. Those details and your full weather forecast coming up. Stay with us.
Download the CTV News app and stay on top of local stories as they unfold.
We go to a dramatic scene unfolding.
Customize your feed and watch live wherever you are. ctvkitchener.ca, your home for news. When you see it happen, send it to CTV News. Text 10400. From your screen to ours. Text 10400.
A revamp is on the way for a registration system used by families in both the region's public and Catholic school boards for registering for extended care programs. One list has been plagued by problems over the last 2 years, leading to system shutdowns and, in some cases, no before and after school care for some families. CTV's Spencer Turcott joining us now live, looking into this more today. Spencer, seems like the change that parents have been asking for is on the way here.
Well, we aren't sure what the change will look like yet, but we do know both school boards are working together on this and have found a new vendor which they hope comes with fewer hiccups.
For working parents in Waterloo Region, it's the time of year families dread, registering their kids for before and after school care.
it feels like you're competing for the hottest concert ticket in town.
The system parents have had to use in the past to sign their kids up is called One List, which has had many problems the last 2 years.
We get all ready for the Hunger Games at 8 o'clock in the morning and sit down, and then the system just collapses underneath you.
Some parents, like Steve Clendenning, thought he had nailed down extended care spots for his kids last year, only to learn the reserved spots had vanished from One List just before school started.
So then we were without before and after care for a few weeks before things got sorted out.
The problems for parents were felt by staff with both the public and Catholic school boards in the region, who were left to try and come up with last-minute solutions.
It was just very frustrating for families across our board that were hoping to, drop off their child early Monday morning, only to find out a few days before that wasn't going to be possible.
Now, both school boards say they have heard the concerns from families and are making a change before extended care registration opens in a few weeks for next school year.
We decided to move on to a new vendor for registration for extended day, and our goal is always to ensure that parents have a seamless registration process that is supportive and consistent and reliable.
Registration timelines along with who the new vendor will be have not been released yet, but parents are cautiously optimistic about a new system.
My hope would be that it will be better, because it seems like it really couldn't be much worse.
Load test and stress test this thing. They've got to test it to the nth degree.
Still, some parents are haunted by One List to the point where they weren't willing to take any chances this year, including parent Cheryl Hosfeld, who has a new job but had to make a special arrangement after her daughter got into extended care at her school last year while her son was placed at an entirely different school.
They are willing to accommodate my kid's schedule with dropping them off at the bus, and then me coming into work, and then me having to leave on time to go get them off the bus.
CTV News reached out to the company which operates One List for their perspective on the school board's parting ways with them. They did not respond in time for air. As for the region's use of One List for center-based and home-based childcare registration, there is no change. So licensed programs operating outside of the school boards will continue to use it. Tony.
Okay. Spencer, thank you. CTV Spencer Turcott on those changes. A new supportive housing project is taking shape in Kitchener. Construction's underway on the first phase of Friendship Village on Charles Street. It's expected to provide housing for roughly 100 people who've experienced homelessness. The facility will also include personal support workers, healthcare services, and counseling.
What we're building here is a pathway out of homelessness. So what that means is half of the building has higher support, the other half has lower support. And as people stabilize on their healthcare journey, they'll literally move to the other side of the building to receive less support. 2 years from now, over here, we will have 70 more new units of housing, which is just affordable housing.
The program does include a large amenity space where meals will be provided daily to all residents. It gives a large activity space as well for tenants to either utilize to rent or run programming or just kind of meet collectively together. The program is a supportive housing program, so that does mean that there will be staffing here to support and provide supports to all tenants for 24/7.
Construction is expected to continue through fall, with move-ins expected by the end of the year. In Allora today, the reopening of a waste disposal facility, the kind where you take large and hazardous waste items. It's been closed for almost a year. CTV's Karis Mapp tells us how some upgrades are expected to change an important municipal service in that area.
The Allora waste facility reopened on Tuesday, wasting no time getting back to business.
The site has been closed for 11 months while we underwent a full rebuild of the site. So it's really exciting to see people coming in and enjoying the new facility.
During the closure, people were asked to put their garbage out for curbside collection or to visit the Bellwood waste location.
This site is beloved by Allora residents, and so it serves them well, and I think that they're very happy to be able to come closer to home rather than traveling across the township.
I used to come here all the time, right? I live locally, so.
We live on a farm, so we don't
use the pickup at the roadside, so we come here probably once every 2 weeks.
Some of the upgrades include new specialized bins to help with waste diversion.
We've got a bin for mattresses that can be recycled. We've got spaces for drywall and shingles. So there's all kinds of new items. We've really been aggressive in recent years in expanding our diversion opportunities and really making steps to expand the life of our landfill site.
There was also work on overall grounds maintenance.
You might have encountered some potholes and dust on certain days, and so we've paved the site.
Customers seem to enjoy the improvements that came from a budgeted $3.4 million plan.
Oh, it was easy enough. She just told me it's back up to the bin, throw your junk in, and it's on the scale here and pay.
Everything's laid out nicely. Before, some of the other sites, trying to back a trailer up to the bins was a little bit difficult, but I think for sure the layout they have here was planned out and worked well.
We have the ability to tip with our tip loads here, where before the old Allora site was a hand bomb only.
Another change people say they've been noticing since the reopening are the double scales. All cars are now weighed on the way in and out of the waste facility.
After they've unloaded their trash or other materials that will be recycled, they weigh out on the outbound scale, and they pay the difference depending on how much they've left with us here.
It makes a big difference for us because we know that we're paying for what we're actually dumping, so that's exciting.
Kara Smapp, CTV News, Allora.
And a live look through our tower camera toward uptown Waterloo on this Tuesday evening, a week that's getting milder and milder. Ashley's back to tell us what's in store for the rest of the week weather-wise. Also coming up, why the province is saying no to a casino in Grand Bend. But next, down under. What's up for discussion in Australia? The next stop on Prime Minister Carney's overseas tour. All right, we've got Ashley back for a look at our forecast. Must be nice to deliver the forecast in a week where we're going to have temperatures that everyone's going to like.
I mean, there's a lot of winter fans in our region,
It's
Tony.
true.
So, I mean, I might be disappointing a few people out there, but I think there's a few people in our camp who are pretty excited about the warmer weather.
Listen, I make my apologies to everyone at Chicopee who probably wants this to go on for weeks and weeks and weeks, but we've had a great season, too, for winter activities.
It has been an incredible winter for winter activities. I think there was no complaints on that front. I think we are now ready to make that switch and transition into spring. And you know what? We're nearly there. A couple more weeks to go.
It almost smells like spring in the air. It's got that mild, sort of different kind of pressure in the air out there.
Well, if you like that, I promise you by the end of the week with a little fresh rain, it'll be even more so.
Excellent.
Okay, well, let's take a look at what's happening outside tonight. Pretty cloudy night out there tonight. Not as clear as we saw last night, but it's going to remain relatively comfortable. We're not expecting high winds. We're not expecting precipitation. We are just expecting a bit of cloud cover. So if you are headed out, it is going to be seasonal, which still means winter temperatures. You're going to want to bundle up. Let's take a look at our almanac to start tonight, pointing out what we're looking at. So normal for this time of year, 1 degree. We reached 2 today. Back in 2003, minus 27.8 was our overnight low. So by comparison, going down to -7 tonight, not too bad. As we just saw from that beautiful live shot, you know, the sun is coming down now, setting at 6:13 p.m. So great news if you like to get out for a little bit of a later walk. And of course, with daylight saving coming up in a few days, we're going to have even more light. Looking at our future cast, mostly cloud cover, a few spots of precipitation south of us towards Sarnia and London. By Wednesday, though, we are going to see mostly clear skies for Waterloo Region. We might see a little bit of cloud cover, but we're not expecting any real precipitation on Wednesday. It's Thursday. We're going to start to see this system slowly make its way up, and we are looking at some rain in the forecast for Thursday and into the weekend. Not looking at a lot of rain, but definitely going to be a bit of it. Vancouver, it's raining there, 9 degrees. Edmonton, -12 and a bit of snow. -10 in Saskatoon. In Winnipeg, cloudy and -7. In our nation's capital, Ottawa, -1. The sun already setting there. And And in Corner Brook, -5 with a bit of cloud cover. Right now in Waterloo Region, we're sitting at 1 degree, but it is feeling a little cooler with the wind chill. It is, oh no, I apologize. It's sitting right at 1 degree, feeling like 1 degree, so it's warmed up a little bit in the last hour or so. Overnight, our low is expected to reach -6, feeling closer to -10 with the wind chill. But tomorrow is really going to be the shining star of the week. 5 degrees and sunny is expected. So with that sunshine, with the 5 degrees, we will start to see some more snow melting, those big piles, and then by the weekend, with all the rain that's on its way, we are going to see a lot of that melting away. Rain and 7 for your Thursday. 8 on Friday, and Tony, check out Saturday.
Wait a minute. No. My eye is locked on Tuesday. What have we got going on there?
Okay, well, look, Tuesday is still a ways out.
I know.
So, look, this is just a temporary fillip, but it is projected that we are going to reach some very warm conditions next week, but I'm not making any promises this early, but that is what the projection is showing. Look at Lambton, Kent, Essex, Tony, as well for Tuesday, potentially reaching close to 19 degrees there. But in the interim, some rainy periods for Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and very comfortable conditions in regards to temperature throughout the rest of the week. In southern Georgian Bay, very nice as well. A mix of sun and cloud for your Wednesday. Rainy periods for Thursday. Cloud returning for Friday with a high of 8 degrees for Friday and Saturday. So overall, an improvement. And as I said, I expect we'll see lots of melting snow activity over the next few days. Let's take a look at today's Weather Watcher picture sent in from Cameron in Kitchener of this beautiful sunset taken last week. And if I'm not mistaken, it is looking towards Waterloo. I just thought the colors in that sunset were too stunning not to showcase it.
You would not be mistaken, by the way. That is definitely looking toward Waterloo. Beautiful sunset. And wow, yes. As far as those temps go later in the 7-day,
yes,
I know the 7th day of a 7-day is always a bit of a guess.
I always tell people really, 4 days, after 4 days in a forecast, lots of variables can change very quickly. Even something as simple as a wind changing.
No kidding.
So I take it with a grain of salt.
I like the hope that it provides, though.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to it, too.
Me too. Ash, thank you.
Thank you.
Prime Minister Mark Carney speaking to reporters for the first time since embarking on a multi-day trip to India and Australia. And there were pressing international issues to answer for, including the situation in Iran. Let's join CTV's Abigail Beeman now in Sydney with the latest.
We heard from the Prime Minister Canada supports efforts to stop Iran from obtaining a nuclear weapon, a position he says Canada takes with regret.
It's for the United States and Israel to make the case, and for whether or not that is the case. And it's for others, more expert than me, non-lawyer, certainly non-international lawyer, who are more expert to make that determination. And that said, well, Canada was not asked to participate. You know that. We were not informed in advance. We were not asked to participate. Prima facie, it appears that these actions are inconsistent with international law.
Carney said he has not spoken with the U.S. president since the airstrikes began. The Prime Minister was also asked a number of questions about India. Mark Carney said he would not use the words of the government official who suggested India is no longer actively engaging in foreign interference. But Carney wouldn't explicitly answer our questions about whether foreign interference is actively taking place, citing confidential briefings. But he did say there is progress. Carney said there's a range of countries who try to engage in foreign interference from time to time, and Canada will continue to call them out. Abigail Beeman, CTV News, Sydney.
Keeping an eye on oil and gas prices as hostilities across the Middle East continue to cause shipping choke points. We'll have analysis on the impact this has all had on the markets next. As the conflict in the Middle East escalates, stock markets tumbled, both the TSX and Dow opening in negative territory, although there was a recovery by end of day. How does this fluctuation and the surge in oil and gas prices affect Canadians and their investments? Tonight, CTV's Mike Le Couture looks into that.
The joy that comes with the opening bell quickly faded as the New York Stock Exchange dropped almost immediately. The TSX quickly followed suit as it dropped nearly 1,000 basis points 5 minutes after the open. Monday stock markets opened down but did recover, and some investment specialists see the dip as an opportunity.
So I think there'll be some opportunities here for some of the potentially higher risk names that have got hit quite hard. To potentially look at these as entry points to get back into them.
As stocks slide, the price of oil continued to climb. Iran produces less than 5% of the global output, but the Middle Eastern country is cutting off access to the Strait of Hormuz. More than 20% of the world's oil goes through that maritime passage. So while crude oil investments are rising, so is the price of gas.
About $10 a barrel increase in oil prices results in 6 cents a liter at the pumps.
The U.S. President Donald Trump campaigned on lower gas prices, but today he told reporters this increase should be short-lived.
If we have a little high oil prices for a little while, but as soon as this ends, those prices are going to drop, I believe, lower than even before.
Still, this former CEO of the Alberta Petroleum Marketing Commission worries Trump's prediction could be wrong.
Iran has these drones, $20,000 drones, that seem to be able to shut down Qatar's LNG production, right? So if that's the case, then it'll be a long time before production returns.
Now, if oil production continues to stall, some analysts worry the price could spike to $100 per barrel, a level the world hasn't seen since the 2022 Russian invasion of Ukraine. Mike Lecuteur, CTV News, Ottawa.
Let's recap our top stories now. Colton Ween's in studio with us tonight for all the latest, and it's a whole new day as far as curbside collection goes in Waterloo Region.
Oh yeah, the first day of the new collection system here in Waterloo Region. The region is reminding everyone that this is day one, and it will take time to get used to it. As the program rolls out, there is also crews going ahead of some trucks, making sure carts are placed properly. Also, the building where a fire broke out in Ayr has now been torn down. The fire damage was deemed too severe to save the structure. It's a loss of one of the oldest buildings in the community, and investigators are still trying to figure out how the fire started.
And online from our digital team, Colton, a story about a plea that the Guelph Humane Society is sharing.
Yeah, that's right. The Humane Society is urging cat owners to keep their pets indoors. It's after a recent increase was noticed in deceased cats being found throughout the community. For more information on this story, you can scan the QR code on the bottom left of your screen to get the story on our CTV News app or to download the app right now. You can also visit our website, ctvnewskitchener.ca. Tony.
Heartbreaking story. Good information for pet owners to keep in mind. Colton, thank you. Well, they rolled the dice and they lost. The Ontario Lottery and Gaming Commission has turned down an application for a casino in Grand Bend. As CTV's Scott Miller reports, the OLG says they don't want to add another gaming facility to the region, at least not now.
Grand Bend is not getting a casino, at least not right now.
There was a proposal for a casino in South Huron. The developer brought forward the proposal to have one in Grand Bend. We always listen to all the developers and see where it can go. We're not saying yes, we're not saying no. We just want to hear all the facts first. But at this point, there is nothing moving forward, simply because OLG is not doing any more expansions of casinos in this area. So at this point, it's put on pause.
The former site of the boat store just off Highway 21 on the northern side of Grand Bend was the proposed site, brought forward by a developer to South Huron Council late last year. But Ontario Lottery and Gaming Corporation, which governs where casinos go in Ontario, told South Huron Council this week they've got enough gambling spots in southern Ontario and aren't looking to add more. Adding casinos to the region would also require amendments to the deals they have with current casino sites in places like Clinton and London.
OLG controls where the casinos do go, so they would work with the developer and then come together with an idea, and then the public would have an opportunity to speak to it.
Well, the answer from OLG in terms of putting a casino here in Grand Bend is no right now. That doesn't mean the answer will always be no.
At this point, there's nothing happening, but who knows in the future what will happen. If OLG does want to expand, they know we're interested and we're willing to talk.
Finch says if the opportunity to add a casino at the proposed site in Grand Bend arises again, South Yarra would most certainly be ready to listen.
Casinos have proven themselves over the past number of years with the regulations and the policing that goes into it. So the ones that are local, the one in Clinton, for instance, it works well, and we don't see any adverse side effects to that degree. However, we're very much aware that there could be challenges, but we want to make sure that we listen to all parties first and then move forward with whatever the public and the developer and if OLG is on board as well to work with everyone.
In Grand Bend, Scott Miller, CTV News.
Well, coming up next on CTV News, the 100-day countdown. We will check in on some of the Southern Ontario preparations surrounding the FIFA World Cup. That's next. 100 days and counting to the start of the FIFA World Cup, with Canadian host cities Toronto and Vancouver gearing up for competition and fans ready for excitement. CTV's Heather Wright reports.
The World Cup doesn't kick off for another 3 months, but excitement is starting to build.
It's awesome. When I was a kid, I used to always think, why don't they bring the World Cup to Canada? Now it's actually here, so it's pretty cool.
In a city as diverse as Toronto, Eugenio Pagnotta is one of many with divided loyalties. He's half Brazilian, half Italian, born in Canada. He's rooting for Brazil, but thinks if Italy qualifies and plays Canada in its opening game, there will be a sea of Italian fans in the stands at BMO Field.
The dilemma there is interesting because Italy haven't qualified for the past 2 World Cups. If they qualify this time, BMO Field is probably going to be more blue than red.
Chapa Corner Cafe is always a destination for Portuguese fans, where support will also be split.
When Portugal plays, I'm being Portuguese. When Canada plays, I'll be Canadian.
This is the first World Cup to be played in 3 countries and 3 time zones. Hundreds of thousands of fans are expected to descend on Toronto and Vancouver, where 13 matches will be played. There has been plenty of criticism in the lead up to this tournament over ticket prices, costs, and political concerns. But Canada Soccer CEO Kevin Blue says fans are in store for an amazing experience.
I think that fans from around the world can expect Canadian hospitality.
While the ground is still frozen and June 12th seems far away, Blue predicts the energy of the tournament will be infectious.
And I think it's going to, be somewhat breathtaking as far as how much of an impact this will have on the psyche of Canadians who are looking for Canada to do great things on the biggest global stage in sports.
Canada will kick off its World Cup tournament in Toronto on June 12th. Other countries playing in Canada include Panama, Ghana, Germany, Ivory Coast, and Croatia in Toronto, and Australia, New Zealand, Qatar, and Belgium in Vancouver. Heather Wright, CTV News, Toronto.
Well, we'll have more in just a moment. First, let's check in on those beautiful temperatures we're expecting. Here's Ashley.
Well, Tony, it's almost soccer season and it's almost soccer weather. We're going to have a beautiful day ahead of us. Those details coming up. Stay with us. Start your night off with Best Medicine at 7, followed by Will Trent at 8 and High Potential at 9, and a brand new show for 10 o'clock, RJ Decker. Check it out.
I'm Heather Wright. Tonight on CTV National News. 100 days until the World Cup kicks off in Canada.
When I was a kid, I used to always think, why don't they bring the World Cup to Canada? Now it's actually here, so it's pretty cool.
How Team Canada and its fans are gearing up for soccer's biggest stage. That's tonight on CTV National News and at ctvnews.ca.
Bounce 99.5 has the music you just can't quit. Home of Bounce Mornings with Angie Hill and Sarge. KW's Bounce 99.5. Listen on the free iHeartRadio app.
All right, let's check in with Colton Weens one more time for one of the things we're watching for our late show tonight. Colton.
Well, Tony, Cornerstone Association of Realtors has just released new numbers showing market trends in the region, showing the price for an average home has dropped year over year. Some areas of the region seeing no change in price since last month, while others are seeing a slight increase month over month. We'll have the details on just how much of a change is being seen tonight at 11:30. Tony.
Numbers people are always keeping an eye on. Okay, Colton, thank you very much for that. And Ashley, some more numbers we're keeping an eye on boy, oh boy, the temperature's heading up as we get into the month of March.
What I'm talking about is barbecue season has arrived,
You
Tony.
just said this a little while ago.
I know it's dinner time and we're a bit hungry, so we're thinking with our tummies.
We are.
But from tomorrow, you know, I might just have to fire up that grill when I get home because it's going to be beautiful. Let's take a look at what we're waking up to. It will be still chilly at 6 a.m., -6 and partly cloudy, but by 10 a.m. we're expected to be at 1 already with a daytime high expected around 5 with mostly sunny conditions. Perfect for your first barbecue of the season if you haven't already done so.
You know what I just had? You know when you get a moment and you get something in your mind and you actually think you can smell the aroma of it?
Yes.
Is that smell when you're walking down the street and barbecue food is just wafting throughout a neighborhood.
When one neighbor barbecues, the neighborhood barbecues.
When one neighbor has a pool, everybody goes swimming in the pool.
Absolutely.
Now, this didn't matter kind of what neighborhood you were in last night. This was a really, really cool moment, or early this morning.
Yes.
Early risers would have been getting the best chance to see the total lunar eclipse, the only one this year, known as a blood moon. And let's take a look. It was visible around 6 a.m. So what happens, of course, is the moon appears red when the Earth passes between the sun and the moon and casts a large shadow on the moon.
Very cool. The next total lunar eclipse won't be visible in southern Ontario until June of 2029.
Now, let's flip slides, if you will, please. Thank you very much. This is, so I was out last night and I took this video. Now, this was with an iPhone, and you know, iPhones typically brighten up night visuals, but no filters at all. This was just the regular video function. That trail is behind our station here. Normally, it's pitch black.
It was bright.
At 9:30 at night, but in this, you could see everything on the trail. Alan and I were saying you could have read a book outside by moonlight last night.
That's pretty incredible.
So leading up to the blood moon, we had some pretty powerful visuals. That's one of the brightest examples of moonlight I've ever seen.
And we'd still love to see your videos and pictures of it, our viewers at home. So if you have some, please send them in and maybe we can feature them on our website or part of our Weather Watcher photos.
Now I'm remembering the eclipse in 2024 and how that brought everyone together.
Oh, goodness.
So let's
April
do it.
8th, I remember
Yes.
I don't know.
Well, too. 4/8/24. That's going to do it for us until tonight at 11:30. We will see you back here then right after the CTV National News. Take care and have a good night.